Hello my friends and welcome to the channel. My name is Ryan Abair and this is where I share my insights. And today, I'm calling today's meditation, The War Starts with the Snooze Button. And I want to talk to you about the journey of living a conflicted life to one of ease, simplicity, and non-conflict. And building up an immunity to fear. Stick around. The very first thing that you may encounter when you wake up is a strong resistance to facing your day, which means that you see what's to come as an enemy. And that's how we start. Your alarm goes off. And boom, I don't want to. And we don't recognize the immediate conflict is really inflicted. And that is where most of us sort of begin our spiritual journey, is on the extremities of conflict, which begin first thing in the morning. That's how we begin the day, as if we are going to conquer it. Rather than cooperate with it, love it. So I want you to think of a big circle that has an outer fringe, an outer ring. And this is the first stage of spiritual awakening, is recognizing the conflict immediately. The I don't want to, I can't do it, or I'm going to conquer it. It's the same thing. Facing your day as if it is an opposition. That's where most of us live. I call that the outer fringe. That's the first thing, conflict. And then you get a little closer and you realize the conflict is inflicted. Inflict is the first step to recovery. I have inflicted this upon myself. At a very fundamental level, you set the alarm. Okay, I get that. So you realize that conflict, the feeling of two, are not that they are fighting, but that there's some infighting. That's the first thing that will dawn on you. And then there's tolerance. The next level in on this big radiating circle, the next level in is tolerance. Okay, great. If I can't do anything about my situation, if I can't win the battle, if I can't face the day, I'm going to at least tolerate it. So there's this seething, like, okay, I'm just going to do it. Anyway, tolerance is a little bit more close to what I'm talking about. I can barely tolerate my day. Great, you've made progress. You've moved inward from the outer fringe. Conflict, inflict, tolerance. The next would be community or communicative. You start listening. You start paying attention. You start contemplating. You start realizing that everything in your life that seems to be conflicting with you, opposing you, bringing you down, is talking to you. Community first. So you'll begin to see the so-called outside world is talking to you. Your enemies are talking to you. The opposition is talking to you. There's some message in it. You're getting closer to the epicenter. Community or communication. The next step in is communion. Then you realize the relational nature of life, this me and them, me and life, self and other. There's a communion with it. So this is moving in further away from tolerance. It's more like acceptance. Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm heeding. I'm paying attention. I get it. That's communion. That's sharing time gracefully. Waking up gracefully. Bringing in some spaciousness to it. And then from that communion, there becomes union. That's another thing. Union. You begin to unify with everything that appeared relational. But it doesn't stop there. The final step is immunity. Immunity. A buildup of space whereby the essence of who you are begins to become part of the foreground and the fear becomes part of the background. You've left it behind. There's no more conflict. That's immunity. At the forefront of it is love, spaciousness, giddiness, lightness. It's not even about stopping the conflict. It's about getting so lost in the spaciousness of yourself that there is no more separateness to rub up against. It's impervious. It's invisible. It's completely vulnerable. Open, fearless. Let's think of it biologically for a second. Everybody has cancer cells, but why does the cancer cell attack the body? Because the cancer cell is unaware of its host. It doesn't realize it's attacking the host. An autoimmune problem in an individual is that the body attacks itself. Something's out of whack. It doesn't realize it's attacking itself. And likewise, you don't realize that you are attacking yourself when you hit the snooze button, when everything seems oppositional, when you've got a dis-ease in yourself. You're attacking yourself, not realizing you're attacking the host. When human beings do horrible things to each other, they don't realize they are attacking the host. The highest of the high. We're part of this organism, this big, vast oneness. And we're going around eradicating ourselves like a cancer cell attacks the body. That's what a dis-ease is. It's self-inflicted. Somehow, you develop an immunity to it. You develop an awareness to it. Like, holy shit, I'm attacking myself when I say something bad about somebody, when I complain, when I hit the snooze button, when I don't wanna, when I resist everything and everyone. This ain't working. This does not work for me anymore. It never did. The only thing that does work is cooperation. But you can sense the level in people. Some people are totally at war. They're in the Gaza Strip. They are completely attacking themselves. Then you got some people that are barely tolerant enough. And they, how are you doing today? Hope you have a great day. And they're seething underneath this anger. That's a closer step than being in complete conflict with oneself. I want you to move in from tolerance to communication. I want you to start listening to what your life is telling you. This is an example of your life telling you something if you're listening to this video. I'm not telling you anything. This is you telling yourself. This is you trying to, sensing the merging of self and other, me and you, whatever. Moving from tolerance to communication, you start listening. What is this saying to me? What am I learning? You become a student of your life for a while. You hear the communication, and then you experience the communion. Co-union of everything. Even that which appeared as an enemy. You suddenly realize I'm attacking myself. Even when I blame other people and my circumstances and my physicality, nothing is to blame. It's all one. That's a step in. And then there's union. And then there's immunity. You see. By realizing where safety comes from, where protection comes from. I'm not talking about a vaccine that we can touch or see. Immunity is being lost in love. Such a bountiful amount of love that you could go into a real war zone and say, shoot me. I mean, I'm always amazed at those Vietnamese monks back in the 70s that set themselves on fire and sat there and burned to a crisp. Talk about immunity. Going into the fire and not be burned because you realize you are burning yourself. That was an illustration of humanity burning itself, destroying itself, mislabeling the host. We're not going to get rid of the shadow, I guess, the darkness. But we can put it behind. Put it in its place. It will always stay there. Carl Jung called it the shadow. Jesus called it Satan. When he was talking to Judas, he said, Satan, get behind me. It's just a name for the potential to be an attacker. That's all. We all have the potential to do these devious things. But there's a certain immunity. There's a certain enhancement to love that becomes forefront as you get closer to the center. Conflict to immunity. It begins with the snooze button. That's where your first battle begins. That inside of you. And you learn there are no battles. That's just you're inflicting it upon yourself. Welcome to the world of immunity. And in that unity, you are healed by love and love and love and love. And it just, you keep falling in love and falling in love and falling in love and falling in love and falling. And there's no bottom to it. Because you're the source of it. And that's what makes you impervious to fear. Fear. And what you were battling was simply just fear itself, the emotion, the feeling. And it had nothing to do with physicality. The war you were waging was inside you. You call a truce, and that begins your road to immunity. The snooze button might seem harmless, but let me tell you, that's the cusp of conflict. Realizing, inflict. You're attacking the host. And perhaps maybe this resonates with you. Wake up. Willingly. My name is Ryan Hebert. I hope you enjoyed these insights, and I hope you'll check my blog out, mymorningmotivator.com.